What is happening, y'all? Cowboy here, and in this video we are going to be talking about the absolute best base defense for V Rising. Now I see a lot of people talking about honeycombing, and honeycombing it's alright, you know, it's been around since the beginning of time. For those that don't know what honeycombing is, the idea is you'd open this door, and then immediately after opening it, you'd be in a little 1x1 box, and there'd be just everything here would be boxed off. And so the idea is you got to get through a door, and get through a wall, and get through a wall, and get through a wall. And while that's fine if you're just trying to delay somebody, if you're actually trying to keep your base protected, it is far from the most effective thing. And we're going to talk about why. So a lot of people that aren't at high levels aren't aware of this yet, but with bat form and with toad form, honeycombing isn't as effective as you might think. We're going to talk about that in particular. So with bat form, you can land anywhere that is not claimed. So perfect example, this castle, I'm about to take this over. It's already decaying, so I walled him in. But right on over here, you know, I go towards the back. If I hit space, oh, look at that. I've now landed behind your castle. And if you had honeycombed the castle, you know, now I can go and I can look and I can see, okay, no, he has all his books right up here. No, I can go right in. So I'm able to already see what is at the back, and I can determine where I want to approach the base in terms of getting through and getting past that honeycomb. Now, the real threat is in toad form, because toad form allows you to engage in some shenanigans. I can hop down off cliffs, hop up cliffs, and the real threat here from toad form is that I'm going to be able to find a weak spot in that base and get into it effectively through your honeycomb. So just to use this as an example, we're going to go to a base that was recently raided on the server, where we used some toad form shenanigans to make quick use of the guy's honeycomb in particular. I don't know if he's repaired it yet or not, but we'll see. And this is kind of my general approach to sieging with the boys anyway. The first thing you're going to do is you get bat form, and you go and you scout on out. So earlier we were raiding a dude, this castle on over here, looking for a bunch of stuff. So we flew on over, tried to find an entrance to the base via the bat form. Now you can see we have this nice little cliff up here, and this is where the base and its weakness are apparent. So, you know, he has all this stuff, all this, you know, very nice garden. A lot of these hallways are honeycombed. Thinks his base is going to be secure. Well, for starters, and you know, from the naked eye, it would seem so, because you know, you get over here and you can't walk up this. You're like, well, how am I going to get into the base? You know, what do I do? And you look inside. Well, this is actually all open. But let's just assume that was honeycombed. Well, none of that would be relevant because of toad form. So with toad form, whoop. All right, well, there we go. We're now past your gatehouse, and we're going to go on up. There's another gatehouse here. Guess what? Whoop. We're now past that gatehouse. There's a very nice little garden right here. Gotta aim this just right. And now we're at the back of his castle. And this is exactly how we got in and sieged, because we were able to come in here. And another thing I want to point out is you'll notice he doesn't have this space claimed. He didn't think he had to have it claimed. And so what that allowed us to do was frog form right to the back of this dude's castle, drop a golem, bust the wall, and then immediately we were inside of his castle and we had access to all of the good stuff. We had all of his prisoners, we had all of his gems, we had all of his blacksmithing stuff. And that's exactly why I'm saying honeycomb may not be as effective as you think it is, because with the ability to toad on in, and especially scout out a weakness to a base, honeycombing isn't the end all be all. Now there are a couple things you can do to address this. We're going to talk about those. There's a castle over here that actually is properly honeycombed. So we're going to go on over, we'll warp on over with the waygate, and we'll take a look at that and kind of show you what they have going on. And away we go. Man, bat form takes a minute. Let's fly on over. kind of already you can see the way this base is set up. What I want to point out is that every single square has been claimed. Even something like this, where, you know, it's not directly inside, it's still claimed. And that's the thing that is so important, because if it's claimed, somebody can't land there. You can see right now I'm mashing my space bar. I'm looking to see none of this is going to be claimed. And I want you to notice how he's made his castle along every single ledge of the cliff. And that's exactly what you want to do to maximize the safety. Now, here's a spot that's not claimed. And given I can't fly in with the golem, you know, getting over here, I can of course now peek inside. I can see that here's all of his servant coffins, so I know where those are at if I want to go and attack those as soon as I get in. I can go over here. I can see this is partially honeycombed. See, ooh, I got the pasture over there. I can see he has his grinders over here. So already, just because this was not claimed, I've now been able to land and get an inside look at this guy's base and potentially start figuring out where I want to hit it by. And this is, once again, this is, I don't know why people keep not doing this, but they assume that just because they have a honeycomb, they're going to be invincible. You know, and I guess this guy's, his particular thought process is, you probably go on up here, you go to the front of the base, you look, and it's just like honeycomb, 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 and you're like, well, no one's going to raid that. But the problem is, I've already flown in, and I already know that the good stuff is right here. So if I really wanted to, I could go bat form, see how big that is, see how big this is, and I can find what's going to be the fastest route to break through Butt Naked's castle and get to all the goodies that they are hiding. So once again, to reiterate my original point, while honeycomb is an effective means of slowing players down, it is far from the most useful defense, mainly because the only thing a honeycomb is going to do is slow raids down. It's not actually going to stop them. And on top of that, if you happen to be offline and someone comes in with 2 or 3 golems, that honeycomb isn't going to last long. They're going to start, as soon as one wall is down and that debuff is up, the golem is going to rapidly start breaking through every single thing that he can. So now we're going to go over to my base, and we're going to talk about how this is really wide open, and despite being how open it is, it's more defensible than a honeycomb in its layout. So as you can see right here, I have a very, very large front lawn. You go on in, we'll do a castle tour sometime. Immediately you're in the throne room, and you'll already kind of notice what makes the base so defensible. And it is ya boy right here, Holy Chungus. Now it's not just Holy Chungus, obviously there's other servants I'm going to be grabbing. I've just gotten really to the servant gathering portion of V Rising, where I'm really starting to get these high level servants and gear them on out. But in particular, everything in my base is located in the far back. So all of my chests, all of my crafting, that's going to be in the back of the map. And in particular, what makes this so potent is this all right here is an actual cliffside that you cannot go on. Like, the only way to even really get up there is going to be bat form. You can't land. So nobody can frog up there. Nobody can frog in from here. This is all claimed already. Just to kind of show over here on the side, just to talk about I've been talking about the importance of claiming and, you know, preaching about claim your spots, claim your spots. So we're going to go show exactly what I'm talking about with that. Can I move you? I can't move you. It's okay. I just wanted them for the shade. So looking at this, you can see I don't extend my fence there, but I have it claimed, because that means no one can just bat form in and hop right over the fence. Similarly over here, I have it claimed. Now this one's not as important because I have the wall there and people could land over here, but that is also why we have the wall, because while frog form is going to allow you to jump from down here to up here and back and forth, frog form will not allow you to get over a wall. So ultimately, what does this come down to? A, when you are building your base, you absolutely always want to have walls facing cliff sides, because if you don't, well, not cliff sides, I guess we'll call these hillsides, because over, oh shit, did I just put that, okay, never mind, didn't go through. I guess a cliff side would actually be like this stuff over here. People aren't going to be landing on cliffs. People could land there, but once again, I have a wall. So anywhere that there is going to be a potentially landable area, you want walls so that people cannot frog form through. With something like this, where it's a sheer face of the cliff, you know, you can go for fence and just, you know, just do the pure aesthetic approach, because, you know, they're not gonna frog over there. And the thing is, even if they landed here as a bat and they frogged in, well, guess what? Once they're inside the garden, you have walls, 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 walls. There's no way out. Which actually, I'm curious. Let me test this myself. Theory, they might, if they're very good. Oh, they have to land there. Land there. Well, I'll be damned. I'm gonna have to get rid of my fence and make it walls. But, I mean, if anything, this is just a perfect demonstration of the type of shenanigans you can get into with Frog. See, even now, I'm discovering inefficiencies in my own base design. Because right there, it looks like I would be safe. It looks like I would be clear. Guess what? We're not clear. So, now I gotta go and I gotta build walls up over there. But yeah, honestly, you need to absolutely test bases with Frog Form. Test your base with Frog Form, kind of how I did just there. I can't even... Man, that kind of pisses me off because I really liked the aesthetic of that gate. Now I know, and I'm going to have to get rid of it. But I'm just going to have to wall this in. As long as I make that a wall, it'll be fun. But so anyway, moving on from all that, let's talk about the real defense of the base. And that is this right here. Your followers. Your servants are by far the most effective base defense available in the game. Now, there's a couple things when it comes to getting your servants. The first thing is their percentage score, their blood score. That is going to be what determines the expertise. Their actual level doesn't matter, because you'll notice that as I take gear off, his level is going to go down. So it doesn't matter if you find a paladin that's level 50 or a paladin that's level 80. Their actual potency is going to be based on the gear you give them and the blood. So those are the two most important things when it comes to finding followers. On top of that, you'll notice that this is actually all Dawnthorn gear that's broken, but when I put it on him, his level is still going up. Now, this is going to be a little bit tedious, but actually what I would recommend for your followers is when you have gear that breaks, you take the broken gear, you put it on the follower, and you craft a whole new set of gear for yourself. Like when this stuff finally breaks, this Blood Moon stuff, I'm going to give it to Chungus, and I'm going to make a whole new set of Blood Moon armor. Simply because since his level is going to go up, I also want him to be up at 81. In fact, I'll probably give him the final boss necklace, and that boosts him up to, I think, 83. Because, you know, I want my followers as strong as possible. Now, why is this so potent? So let's take a look at my base, expose my own weaknesses, if you will. So this is probably going to be honeycomb, just because it's like a little servant quarter. I don't have anything else to do with it. Honeycomb will just dissuade people from coming here. But even if they did, if they come from that side, boom, they're in the throne room. If they come from the front gate, they're in the throne room. If they come from the garden, they're in the throne room. And everything in my base that actually has value, all of my things, all of my chests, is all going to be here. So if they make it into this room, they've earned it. They're going to be able to take whatever they want. Obviously, I could just add a little honeycomb here if I wanted to expand this out, but I'm a fan of form over function. But the thing is, if they get into this room when it's done, which still getting that ready, it'll probably be done by the time this video is up, there's going to be 9 of these guys. When your castle is all the way at max level, let's see, we can have 9 servant coffins. So for those of you that are at the late game, you already know what it's like dealing with things like paladins and clerics and all of those fun people. Well, imagine you try to break into a house and then all of a sudden 9 of them at the same time are attacking you. It doesn't matter if you're in a golem or not, it's going to absolutely suck. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what the best defense in the game is. It's going to be your followers. And now we're going to go on over and show where to get these holy followers. And probably the #1 spot right here, Brighthaven Cathedral. You can get some in Brighthaven Square in the, this little area here. The slums and the docks, a little bit iffy, but the square and the cathedral are going to be the hot spots. Now there are 3 main followers that I would like to call attention to, and then 1 that I'll give honorable mention. The Paladin, the Lightweaver, and the Cleric. The Paladin is incredibly offensive, the Lightweaver is incredibly annoying, and the Cleric is just super defense. The Priest, I like to give honorable mention to because the Priest can do some shielding, which will help protect people, so it just makes them that much more resilient. And you're at the cathedral. I'll go ahead and pop my holy resistance flask so I don't cook up. And I'm just gonna actually fight some of this stuff. I'm gonna get some of these guys angry and kind of show you how annoying they can be to deal with. So right here we have 2 light weavers. You can already see they're teleporting all over. They're throwing shit out. Get rid of those riflemen. You can see just how annoying this would be to deal with. And this is only 2 of them. You could put 3 or 4 of these at a base entrance. And then instantly, you turn the entrance of your base into a bullet hell. You know, people come into your base and it's like they're playing Returnal. You got these AoEs coming out. Those AoEs are going to do a snare. You have all of this shit coming out. So, light weavers, by far, which actually I didn't even check the percent, 34, 20, alright, neither of you are going to be really all that worthwhile. I might take 1, just until I find a higher percentage. Actually, no, we'll kill these 2. Stop it, God! And you're kind of seeing what the nun is doing. The nun, the priests, while they aren't deadly in any capacity, they are going to keep everything else alive. Oh my God, stay still. I mean, honestly, I should be happy because I couldn't really ask for a better... I couldn't get a better showcase if I tried of just how freaking annoying it is to deal with light weavers. And you're seeing exactly now why they are one of the best forms of base defense in the game. Now, obviously, once somebody gets them isolated, you know, they're not going to be as much of a threat. But this teleporting is really starting to get under my skin here. Die. Also, this area, probably one of the best spots in the game to get your jewelry. All of the high tier stuff up here. I mean, just killing that stuff got 2 gold jewelry. So that's the light weavers. Like I said, easily in the top 3 units in terms of shit you want to defend your base. Now we're going to be messing with the paladin. Just got to get my health on up. Yeah, that's probably good enough. I'll pop a bloater spear for the rest of it. What do we have? Knights. Knights really aren't that worth it. Knights are okay, but honestly, they're just kind of like slower, worse versions of paladins. Should be a paladin back here that spawns pretty consistently. There he is. So let's talk paladins. Paladins are going to be the offensive front lines that you want in your base. They have a 3 blast that you see there. They have a large AoE that you see there. It's going to do a little bit of holy fire, and on top of that they have a charge, which, wow, he's just going through all of his moves. It's like an actual build showcase. Paladins are fantastic. Now this guy, you'll notice he's level 72, but as I mentioned, if I go ahead and I capture him, he is not going to be level 72. He's going to be back to level 0, and until I start properly gearing him out, his level will not be, you know, what he currently is going to be irrelevant. So, always keep in mind, it's the percentage. Because this guy is only a 26% warrior, I'm not that worried about him. You know, the 26% warrior, to me, that does not make him worth capturing. Yeah, more jewelry. Gold jewelry. Mixing up, slurring on my words. To be fair, I'm not drunk. I just got back from the dentist. Had to get a root canal done, so isn't that fun? There's the actual priest, okay. The priests are basically just better versions of nuns, but you'll get to see how the priest and the cleric together can be incredibly effective. I'm going to get rid of the footmen real fast. So the clerics, as you'll notice, they do a singular blast that they're sending on out. You can summon up, I think that's the priest that's actually summoning that up. But you can see the priest is summoning up that thing, it's healing it on up. Get rid of your little holy thing. Let me get rid of this guy, and then we can focus on just the clerics. So the cleric serves as like the frontline defense of your base. The cleric is going to do a singular blast that you're seeing right there. The cleric is also going to do, once it starts getting attacked by somebody, It's going to do the shield that's going to block people back, and it has the follow-up incapacitate shield bash. So in a sense, they are the tanks of your base. They are the ones who are going to be jumping in and just being annoying, because while they're trying to get in on the paladin and do damage to the paladin, they're doing all sorts of shit. Now the priest can be pretty good. As you can see, it's putting that aura up. It's summoning up these annoying little light things, which I don't even know what, oh, these look like they do a permanent snare and snow. That's kind of nice. They're 45 scholar. It's actually not bad. Actually, 62 brute. I might want to, that might be a candidate for capture right there. But the main reason the priests can be good is simply because of the fact that they're going to be healing all your other troops. In general, they can be kind of annoying to deal with, but the one thing with the priest is if you have one priest, most people are going to see that priest and focus it. But you can see, looking at this health bar, you can see the temporary shield that the cleric had right there. That was provided via the priest. Go on, just eat it. I only want 90s and above. But so those are the three: the paladin, the cleric, and the light weaver. Those are going to be what you want. Those are going to be the ones you want protecting your base. And then obviously you want to gear them up with gear that is just as high as your own. And this is the real end game of V Rising, because the thing here is, you know, I have them in my base. It doesn't matter if I have 80 layers of honeycomb. It doesn't matter if I'm online. You know, if somebody, y'all are seeing how difficult those things can be for somebody that's at 81. 81 would be considered the base max eye level in the game. Yes, there is a better amulet, but the better amulet doesn't have any special effects on it. So as a player, it's actually negative to use that amulet, even though it increases your gear score. So for most of your players, 81 is going to be, quote, max tier, even though you can be higher, you're weaker. And you can see how challenging these enemies can be at 81. So imagine somebody comes into your house and all of a sudden they have to fight 8 of these enemies that you just saw me fighting, all at the same time, all throwing out AoEs and holy blasts and all that bullshit. That, folks, that is the best defense. Not having 80 honeycombs. It's having the followers. So either way, hopefully we start seeing people invest in followers. And the main reason I'm even doing this video is because we raided like 3 bases last night and not a single base had followers. They all just had honeycombs, and we frogged around and we broke through the honeycomb and we took all their goodies. And I don't know why people aren't using followers. They are literally, they're your home guards. Start using them. It'll save your stuff. So anyway, I'm going to wrap things up here. More than likely, I'll be doing a couple more videos of this. Honestly, I've been playing so much of this game. This game has definitely got its hooks in me. Just let me see real fast. 68 hours since it released. So yeah, not too shabby. Definitely having a lot of fun. But anyway, maybe I'll do a video on why I like it and why it's fun next. So stay tuned, and I'll catch y'all next time with some more V Rising.